to God and His presence in this place, and truly give honor to my father and my mother, who are my pastors, my covering, my counselors. I thank God for them, and I thank God for this opportunity to minister the word on this morning. I'm a blessed daughter. Amen. I'm here this morning without my husband. He's at home in Baltimore at Lifevision, and he's holding it down with the saints there. But I'm happy to have my daughter with me on this morning. June is an outstanding young woman. She inspires me, and I thank God for her being with me. I thank God for my brother Keith. I'm happy to be in the house of the Lord. I'm a church girl, and there's no other place I would be on a Sunday morning. There is no other place I would be. So I thank God for this house. I'm going to come from Mark chapter 5, verse 21. So if you have your Bibles, you can find that. And I'm going to sing a little bit of this. Like oil upon your feet, like wine for you to drink, like water from my heart, pour my love on you, Jesus. If praise was like perfume, I would lavish it on you till every drop is gone. I pour my love on you, I pour my love on you, I pour my love on, like oil upon your feet, like wine for you to drink, like water from my heart, pour my love on you. Anybody want to worship Him like that this morning? Praise was like perfume, I would lavish it on you till every drop was gone. I pour my love on. You want to pour their love on Him? Say, you. I pour my love on. I pour my praise on you. I pour my praise on. One more time, say you. Only you. Verse 21. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to read verses 21 through 24. It says, now when Jesus had crossed over again by boat to the other side, a great multitude gathered to him, and he was by the sea. And behold, one of the rulers of the synagogue came, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet and begged him earnestly, saying, my little daughter lies at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, so that she may be healed and she will live. So Jesus went with him, and a great multitude followed him and thronged to Jesus. I want to minister this morning the subject of Father's Heart for Daughters. And if I could title the message this morning, it would be, Let the Daughters Live. Come on, somebody look at somebody near you and say, let the daughters live. Let the daughters live.
Let the daughters live.
A recent Gallup study said that almost twice as many Americans would prefer to have a son rather than a daughter.
Wow.
So the tension's already there, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Because the truth is, historically, it has always been that fathers have preferred to have sons over daughters. And this is a problem because our daughters have developed a complex where they don't realize their worth because we have raised them in a world where the culture has told us that we aren't as valuable.
That's right. Okay. Amen.
And so unless you have a father like Jairus, or unless you have a father like my father, you'll struggle with a mindset that your life is not as important as a man's.
Wow.
But I believe God is using ministries like this ministry and using apostolic fathers like Bishop Carol Johnson who see the worth in their daughters to change the climate and to change the mindset, come on, and to change the viewpoint that we have about our existence.
Amen.
I'm
Amen.
going to share with you today a message that I believe comes from heaven that will activate the daughters to know that you're worth it. And so we look in Mark chapter 5:21, where we meet a man named Jairus. He's a father who's completely crazy about his daughter. He loves his daughter. He's committed to her destiny. He's committed to seeing her make it past this hurdle in her life that she's facing. And I can relate to this daughter because that's the kind of father I have.
Amen. Amen.
This shows us, this story of Jairus and his relationship with his daughter shows us the heart of God, who is our Father, the Father of all, when it comes to the life of his daughters. And how he was determined to make sure whatever he had to do, he was going to do. He was so determined to make sure that life was breathed back into his daughter, no matter how bad the situation looked. So Jairus is, little background, he's a synagogue ruler, he's a synagogue official, and his job description is that he is the one who's responsible for taking care of all the religious activities and all the ceremonies in that town. You need a funeral, Jairus is your man. You need a wedding, Jairus is your man. You know, you need a christening, a baby dedication, Jairus is your man. And so we can assume that Jairus is a pretty busy man. And his responsibility down at the church probably took up a lot of his time. Probably took up a lot of his energy, probably took up a lot of his mind and his thinking. And so you know how people are when they're devoted to ministry. And the work of the ministry, it's a tiring job, and pouring into people comes with a level of weight, and oftentimes people expect you as a leader to always make themselves available for them. And for Jairus to be a temple leader, it means that he was so committed to his assignment. For him to go up the ranks and become a temple official means that he served at a lower level. Come on, I'm talking good. See, folk don't know nothing about that nowadays. You know, they just want to come in and get a promotion. But you know, you had to go up through the ranks to get to the level that Jairus found himself. And so that meant that he had committed and invested a large portion of his life to the work of the ministry and to the work of the temple. But here's what I love about him, that when there was a crisis in Jairus' house, he turned his attention from work to seeing his daughter live. This made it clear that even in a society where women weren't even close to considered the way they are today, that Jairus shows us, he shows the community, he shows God, he shows even his daughter that she is his priority. Come on. He shows his daughter, he shows the world that most importantly, what he is doing, he is committed not only to seeing the temple go forward, but to seeing the place that he has stewardship over grow to another level. And I believe that many of us are missing out on our God-given assignment because we've become masters at doing church work, but we've forgotten about our God-given assignment. Come on, we've forgotten about our daughters at home. We've forgotten about our sons at home. We've forgotten about our assignment not to just be an elder, not to be a deacon, not to be a minister, not to look official, not to look holy, but to actually do a work, and the work starts at home. Apostle Paul talks all about that, you know what, in order for you to even qualify for ministry work, you got to have home together. Come on, and I'm telling you, you know, that's one of the areas that you'll be tested the most when there's a call on your life. Because what God is saying to you, that if you can't get them rascals that live under your roof together, then how in the world do you think you're going to be able to minister to anybody else? You're a joke.
That's right. Amen.
So Jairus is like, no, you know, he's like, no, I'm not going to be doing all this work for people who don't even say thank you, people who won't even honor me. Come on, people that don't even think that I'm worthy of an offering. Come on, and let my daughter die. Nope. He said, nuh-uh. He tells his daughter, he tells the world, he tells society, he tells people that my daughter is important to me. Come on, she's worth it. Come on, look at somebody near you and say, you're worth it. You're worth it. Jairus knew a lot of religious people, rabbis and priests, people in the religious community. And he's around a bunch of so-called important people, but when the need comes up for somebody to help him out, come on, no one had the power to help him out with the challenge that he was facing. So Jairus says, you know what, I got to step outside of this network. Because these people look important, but all they have to offer adds up to nothing. Come on, I don't care how big your Bible is or how your notes look. Come on, how holy and sanctified you look. Come on, how many bumper stickers you got on your car. How many Bible scriptures you can quote. When it comes down to it, do you have any power? I know you're an elder. I know you're an apostle. I know you're a bishop. I know you're a potentate. But what about the power? Come on, can you lay hands on my daughter? Can you lay hands on my circumstances? Yeah. He said, I need more than just a look. That's right. Jairus has all these ties to all these religious people. Yes, Lord. Yes. He's around all these Pharisees and religious leaders of the time. And y'all already know how the religious people felt about Jesus. So it took a level of bravery for him to step out of that network, to step out of the good old boys club. To step out of their social network and say, I'm going to deal with somebody who you have deemed a rebel. All right. Come on, you've called him a devil. Come on, you've talked about him. Come on, you fried him like you fried a fish on Friday night. Come on, you talked about him bad, but I think there's something about this man, and I believe he's able to fix my situation. Jairus doesn't go to the religious. Hallelujah. Instead, he takes his problem to Jesus. Can I tell you, you got to know where to take your problems to? You've got to know where to take your issues to. Jairus realizes we need Jesus. Is there anybody in here that doesn't realize we need Jesus? Can I tell that? We need Jesus. Come on, look at somebody and say, I need Jesus. I need Jesus. I believe God is speaking in this season that many of the daughters are out here in serious trouble. They need Jesus. Their survival, their existence is dependent upon some people with a mindset like Jairus. That's right. That would say, I'm willing to fight for them to live. There's some issues and some circumstances that, if you be honest this morning, you're going through stuff that's so serious that it's going to require you doing something different than what you've been doing. My dad taught me the definition of insanity is doing the same thing you've been doing, expecting to get a different result. And Jairus probably said, man, I got to do something different. Is there anybody in here honest enough to admit that it's time for you to do something different for your house? Come on, for your children. Come on, for your mind, for your sanity. Come on, it's time to do something different. There's some things you can't figure out without Jesus. You can't fund it without Jesus. It won't get better without Jesus. Come on, your children won't stop being so bad in school without Jesus. Your marriage won't get better without the involvement of Jesus. Come on, your survival is dependent upon your relationship with Jesus. Do I have any witnesses? J.R. said, I've got to get my situation to somebody that can fix it. He realizes at this point that Jesus is probably my last resort. Obviously, I mean, he's a smart man. He's an intelligent man. He's an official. Come on. Obviously, he had some contacts and some people. I'm sure he knew some doctors. That's right. I'm sure he knew some people that were good at what they did. But obviously, he needed something that what his network was not offering him. Come on. Jesus was able to do what nobody else around him could do. Come on. Jesus was able to make it better. And how many know that when your situation gets difficult enough, maybe that's the problem. Your situation has not gotten difficult enough. Maybe your situation has not got complex enough. Maybe you're still not stressed out enough.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Glory, hallelujah. My God, my God.
But when you realize it is so crazy, it is so out of order, my situation is so messed up, come on, that my little band-aids and my little home remedies and my little tricks and quick fixes, come on, they are not working. They don't have the power. They don't have the potency to change. Come on. J.R. came to the conclusion, I better try Jesus. Hallelujah. James 2:26 says, faith without works is dead. Put his faith into a whole lot of things. Many of us put our faith into a whole lot of things. But Jairus applies his faith to this situation concerning his daughter. What do you need to apply your faith to this morning? Jairus said, my daughter needs Jesus. My God. The daughters out here need Jesus. Come on, I'm convinced that the daughters today need Jesus, because there's a problem when our daughters have become content in sharing men. Our daughters need Jesus. Come on, our daughters need Jesus when they have become satisfied with being somebody's side chick. Come on, somebody's side piece. Come on, our daughters need Jesus. I'm not here to judge nobody, because all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. But how do you have 5 children and all of them got a different last name? Come on, our daughters need Jesus. Come on, it's time for us to become responsible with our womanhood. Come on, our daughters need Jesus like Ruth and Naomi. Come on, we need those kind of relationships to rise up. Come on, we need Jairuses. Come on, men that just don't go out here and impregnate women and they got to take them to child support. We need some men that will invest in their daughters beyond the nighttime experience.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Our daughters need Jesus when their self-esteem is so low.
Investment, hallelujah.
That so many of them are cutting themselves and doing things to cry out for attention. Come on, they're doing things. They're paying people to pump cement in their behind so they can look like Nicki Minaj and Little Kim. Come on, we have a problem when our daughters are looking at porn stars as their example. Come on, we have a problem when the only skills our daughters have is twerking.
My goodness. Jesus.
Our daughters need Jesus. Come on, look at somebody, say our daughters need Jesus. Come on, I come to say let the daughters live. But how are they going to live without somebody that will point them to Jesus? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Our daughters need Jesus when we've been sold a lie that the only thing that makes us special is our hips and our waist. Come on, and our boobs. Come on, our daughters have been told a lie when we have been taught that the only thing you need to do is find a man with money to buy you a pocketbook. Come on, and to get your hair and your nails done and to buy you a Come on, our daughters need Jesus. The devil is a liar. Come on, I prophesy that our daughters in Life Vision will become millionaires, entrepreneurs, doctors, and lawyers. Come on, no basketball wives. Come on, I'm sorry, I don't need a man with a basketball in his hand to make me valuable. I don't need somebody to tell me what my worth is. My daddy speaks worth into me. Come on, my daddy speaks life into me. Come on, my daddy tells me I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. Come on, I'm a lender and not a borrower. Come on, look at somebody, say our daughters need Jesus. Many of our daughters don't know their worth. And part of it is the culture's fault, but the other part is our fault. Oh, it's quiet there. How can they know their worth if you don't know your worth? Amen, Walls. They know when you lock in that door and letting the Uncle Joe in, and they know he ain't the uncle. Come on, that's smart. I had my child care center kids come in and tell me stuff. Parents have no idea that a 3-year-old has the knowledge that they have, and they're ready to tell it. We had a man, he was at our church for a while, and he was messing with one of the ladies in the church who was married, and I had the summer camp, and one day he came in, and he walked into, this back in Baltimore when my parents were still here, they was the pastors, wasn't me. He walked in and they said, hey, he was at my house last night with my mother. I'm like, do tell. This is what they're watching. The statistics have said that the same gender parent has more impact on that child than anybody in the world. I know you said their friends are the ones that are impacting them. But no, the mother has more impact on the daughter than anybody. The father has more impact on the son than anybody. And our girls have not been told that they're worth it. Sad reality is many of our daughters have had to grow up without a father. Piece of a father, a silent father. Come on, I believe a silent father is just as bad as an absent father. Many have had to grow up without somebody who shows them that when we face problems, there's somebody that we can turn to, and his name is Jesus. This little girl, her name isn't even mentioned, but the fact that this is what her father did for her speaks volumes. He showed her that when we're dealing with a challenge, no matter how impossible it seems around here, we turn to Jesus. Yeah. Come on, look at somebody and you say, around here, we turn to Jesus. Come on, somebody's got to tell our daughters that round here we turn to Jesus. We turn to Jesus in difficulty. Come on, round here we don't turn to weed and pills. We turn to Jesus round here. Come on, round here we don't turn to alcohol and partying and sex and illicit living. No, not around here. Around here we turn to Jesus. Come on, we don't turn to depression and pills and suicide. No, round here we turn our attention to Jesus. Joshua said, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Jairus, like everybody else around, had heard and seen what Jesus was doing from town to town. Come on, look at somebody and say, you know you heard about what Jesus could do. Come on, you know you heard testimonies. You've heard it. You know God is able to do it. And Jairus is like, I've heard about him. I've seen him. Come on, back when it happened with the demoniac, Jairus was around. He saw that man go from mentally insane to standing up straight, clothed and in his right mind. He saw Jesus turn that man from a mentally unstable person into somebody who was in full-time ministry. Come on, he watched it and he knew if Jesus could do it for him, surely Jesus can do it for me. Come on, if Jesus can fix it for that man, surely he can fix it for this man. And so we've got to have the faith and the determination of somebody like Jairus to say that God is able to save my loved one.
Yes, Lord.
He said, surely God can do it for my daughter. Interestingly enough, on the way to Jairus' house, Jesus gets interrupted. Y'all know the story that he gets interrupted by a woman who had been dealing with an issue of blood for how many years? 12 years. And instead of Jairus getting impatient with Jesus, I believe that Jairus used the interruption, come on, for this woman to get healed as a point of reference. I believe he used this interruption as a point of inspiration that surely I've come to the right man for my daughter's situation. Man, this man is showing me he can do it. Come on, this man is showing he's able. Come on, this man, I don't mind stopping right here for a moment, because what he's doing right now is he is demonstrating to me that he has the power to do anything but fail. Ironically, this woman he healed while he was on his way to Jairus' house was dealing with her issue for 12 years. 12, the number that symbolizes faith. 12, the number that symbolizes God's power, God's authority. Come on, 12 is the same age of Jairus' daughter. And I believe that God again was speaking to Jairus' faith, that I don't care what it is. Come on, this woman spoke, I've been dealing with this for 12 years. And Jairus is listening saying, my daughter's 12.
Yeah. All right now.
He's probably like, okay, God, I hear you. Come on, God will speak to you in moments, and it might seem silly to somebody else, but God, there's no accident, there's no coincidence that she was dealing with a 12-year-long issue, and he had a 12-year-old girl at home that needed a miracle.
Yes, Lord. Jesus, we need you. Hallelujah.
Yes, Lord.
Jairus' faith was elevated.
Hallelujah.
Even on the way to a dead situation. Come on, his daughter is at the point of death, and here he is walking with Jesus. Come on, I don't care what your situation looks like. When you are at the point of death, you better walk with Jesus. You better take a walk with Jesus. Come on, I don't know what your emotions are going to be like, but if Jesus is right there with you, we see he's able to stop in the middle of it. And even when you're feeling the spirit of doubt, he's able to stop and show you, I still am able to do it. I'm still a healer. I'm still a deliverer. I'm still a way maker. I'm still a miracle worker. Come on. God's saying even this morning for somebody in here that I'm still able.
Hallelujah.
Somebody ought to say, he's still able.
He's still able.
This father had a determination about how his daughter was going to end up.
That's right.
In other words, he had a vision for his daughter. Come on, we got to have a vision for our daughters.
We got to have a vision.
Beyond their hairstyle. Come on, we're very creative when it comes to our daughters. We're watching it in prom season. The girl went to the prom in a casket.
Jesus.
To show that she was drop dead gorgeous.
Yes.
Oh my God. Lord have mercy. Jesus.
I wonder if you put that much creativity into her getting a scholarship. Come on, I wonder if you put that much creativity into her having college paid off. Come on, that much creativity into her future, into a bank account. We've got to have faith beyond this stupid stuff. We got to have vision for our daughters beyond their outfit and their hairstyle. What kind of, how many inches are going to be on this weave? We've got to have vision beyond who they're going to marry. Vision beyond what their career. He was concerned about her spirit. Come on. And so he introduces her to Jesus when it looked like it was over for her. He doesn't leave out that her spirit man is important to me. Come on, we got to look at the spirit of our daughters. We got to have vision for our daughters. Come on, our daughters will not be mean and angry and nasty. Come on, our daughters will be kind. Our daughters won't be difficult. Our daughters won't be obnoxious. Come on, our daughters won't be hell raisers. Come on, our daughters won't be short-tempered. Our daughters, we will not create monsters for somebody to have to deal with. Come on, teaching them to be manipulative witches. That you cry. When you cry, you get what you want. we teach them all kinds of things, and what we're doing is we're creating, we're like Build-A-Bear, we're building a monster for somebody to have to deal with. My daughter will not be manipulative and think that's cute. Fathers, leaders, mentors, priests, ministers like Jairus have to have the faith and the perseverance and the vision that they won't rest knowing that their daughters are at home dying. He takes his daughter's issue to Jesus and Jesus responds. Am I boring y'all?
No. Very good.
Come on, look at somebody and say, Jesus will respond.
Jesus will respond.
If you take it to him.
If you take it to him. He's the answer. Hallelujah.
He'll respond because Jesus, the Father, has a heart for his daughters.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Now I think it's interesting because we don't know what almost killed this girl. But Jairus asked Jesus to help him. We don't know what almost killed her. So Jesus is going to help him. But if we don't figure out what almost killed her, then what Jesus helps him with is going to require Jesus staying with them. Oh, y'all missed that. Jesus gets to the house with Jairus and there's all this noise. Jesus says, why are they in here doing all of that? He said, why are they making such ado? Immediately Jesus recognizes the atmosphere in here is not right. I'm at my preaching point.
All right.
Jesus says the atmosphere around my daughter is not right.
All right.
He says, Jairus, who are these people you have in your house surrounding your daughter? He says they are doing way too much. He says all that. Come on, if they really cared about your daughter, they would be doing what you were doing.
That's right. If they can.
But they're standing around making a bunch of noise, crying, wailing. Come on, Jesus is like, they don't generally want to see your daughter do better. They're just here because it doesn't look like things are going well for you. Come on, you need to understand this. Jairus was the picture of success. He had a wife, he had a house, he had a good job, he was an official. Come on, he always seemed to be winning. And now that things were not working out for him, here comes the crowd surrounding what looks like is not working out for Jairus. Come on, it's like folk that tell you, I'm here to support you, but they wait for the thing that you're doing to die first and then come and say, I'm so sorry you lost it.
Looking down. Hallelujah.
Jesus says, stop all that noise and get these people out of here. I'm preaching better than y'all saying amen. He says they are not here for the right reasons. Jesus says, regardless of what it looks like, your daughter is not dead. He said, I come to speak another declaration over this girl's life. Come on. They told him when he was on the way, they said, why bother the teacher? Why bother the master? Come on, there are some people in your life that will tell you there's no point in pushing. There's no point in believing. There's no point in hoping. Your situation is too far gone. But Jesus came and he stopped in there and he said, I come to speak something different over your daughter. Your daughter's not dead. Drug addicted, but not dead. Come on. At the point of death, but not dead. Come on. Caught up in toxic relationships, but not dead. Come on. Doctor says it's terminal, but when Jesus steps in the room, he's able to declare not dead. Your ministry's not dead. Come on. Your marriage is not dead. the daughter is not dead. Come on, I come to speak this morning that the daughters are not dead. Come on, I wish I had a few worshipers that would say, my daughter's not dead. Come on, she's not a hopeless case. My daughter is not. Jesus said, get them out and away from your daughter. He says, get them out of your house. Because what I'm about to do, you can't have those kind of people around you. You can't have mockers around you for God to be able to do what he's got to do. You can't have people around you who celebrate the death of the thing that you love. Come on, Jesus said they got to go. Come on, these people respond when Jesus says that the girl is not dead, and they start laughing at Jesus. And there are some people who are like that concerning your life.
Right now.
Yes.
They're sarcastic and mocking. They're looking at your survival. And as long as you allow the bad energy in the emergency room of your future,
Right now.
Jesus says, I can't do what I need to do. Come on, sometimes it's not the devil, it's the people you let in the room. Come on, sometimes it's not what you think it is, it's you. And the fact that you have not ordered your life in such a way where you get the fake people out of your life. You know they're not your friends. Get the fake ones from around you so that God can do what he's got to do. He says the atmosphere has got to be right for me to perform a miracle. He puts everybody out. The only ones in the room, Jesus, Peter, James, John, Jesus, the mother, and the father. That's it. Come on, look at somebody, say, that's it. That's it, that's it. And sometimes you want to bring Pookie and Nene and all of them in the room with you, but you got to get them out. Come on, God is calling the daughters in this season to quality over quantity. Come on, you don't need 10 best friends if they all garbage. Come on, you don't need, you need one good friend who's going to help pray you through your next difficulty. Jesus said the atmosphere is not right in here. Jesus is like, no wonder your daughter's dead. No wonder she's dead. Look who you have around her.
Oh, Jesus.
And here I want to say this, so many of our daughters are messed up today because of molestation.
That's right.
From somebody you let around them.
Close.
Raped by somebody that you let in a space you shouldn't have let them in. Physical, sexual, emotional abuse of our daughters, all because somebody didn't pay attention to the atmosphere around them. And if you are raising children, boys, girls, daughters, come on, you have got to have them in the right atmosphere so that they can survive. Come on, I come to prophesy that some of you in here today need to get those no good boyfriends who like little children in a perverted way. Get them away from your daughters and your sons. Some people got bitter girlfriends around your children. Remember when my daughter was young, she used to tell me that one of my friends used to pinch her and make mean faces at her and say mean things to her when I wasn't present. You know she ain't my friend no more, right? I'm not gonna, no, she's 4, but she got good sense. Come on, sometimes you ain't even got to say nothing. A child knows your spirit. The dog knows your spirit.
That's it. Walk in the room. They pick it up. Hallelujah.
Just say, get them away from your daughters. Why? You are responsible for the climate that they live in. You set the temperature in your house by what you let in your house. You got young daughters. This is not time for you to go on a girls trip to Miami. This is time for you to watch your daughters. Come on. This is time for you to be a good example to your daughters. Go home and keep watch over what's precious to you. Jesus said his climate around his daughter is not one conducive conducive for her to live. No wonder she's at the point of death. And some of you in here today, you have people around you who are determined to celebrate your death instead of rejoicing over your life. There are more people that would love to show up for my funeral than for a play or a service. Come on. Come on, that's why celebrities have private funerals. You can't come. Come on, because I know what your spirit is towards me. Come on. So you cannot come and watch me when I'm dead. You didn't watch me when I was living. Don't come and act like you like me now. Some of you got people around you and they literally hate you. And they smile in your face. They are assassins that want nothing more than to see you die. And even now, I cancel the assignment of every fake friend. Come on, I do this for my children every day. I cancel the assignment of every smiling face. Come on, every backstabber against the daughters of God. We cancel the assignment against bullies and gangs, social media tormentors. Come on, the Mean Girls Club. Cancel your assignment. Come on, I pray God break the teeth in the mouth of anyone who speaks against or comes against the daughters of God. They shall live and not die. There's a spirit even in the church, the body of Christ, today that wants to kill the prophetic voices of the daughters. To tell them that they are not necessary. To tell them that they are not needed. Come on, stand on the floor. You can't come to the pulpit. Come on, you can't. No. You know what Paul said? Not rightly dividing the word. Come on. There's a spirit that wants to assault the voice of the woman of God, the mantle that's on the daughters of God. Go preach and teach to your little women's group. Y'all lead intercessory prayer at 5 in the morning. But when you look on the flyer of the conference, it's the good old boys club. Yes, I said it. My father's got my back.
Amen. Good old boys club.
You can't minister to anybody but the ones that we tell you to minister to. And then we got a nerve to tell you, you ain't nothing, but we need you to help sow into our
ministry. That's right.
God is raising up daughters in this season because the Father has a heart for daughters. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care what you got to say. I don't care what your title is. You are not rightly dividing the word of truth. Come on. You do not have the Spirit of God working in you. That is the spirit of the devil. Come on. That would cause you to tell a daughter, to tell a woman of God that they are not valuable, that they are not able to minister the word of the Lord. Come on. The Father's heart is to cover the daughters, to validate the daughters. The Father's heart is to activate the daughters, to prophesy and to live. And even this morning we come to minister resuscitation to the daughters. Hallelujah. Jesus is like, here's the problem. You got all these so-called well-intentioned people around you who basically want to see you die. Even if they didn't want to see his daughter die, they wanted to see him die. And anybody knows that when you have somebody who's close to your heart, when they go away, it causes a part of you to break. And there are some people, they don't necessarily want to see you go down, but they want to see something that's important or special to you not survive. And so they'll sit there and watch and check and see, are you still there? That's why you can, like, Facebook is a great place to find out. Like, you can post as many you post negative things, so many responses. You post today, I'm just feeling discouraged. Oh, everybody want to respond. Then the next day you post something celebratory that God is doing in your life, you get like 3 likes. Come Lord. Because there are many people who are assigned to your life who are sitting around to make sure you die. To make sure you don't breathe again. Come on, to make sure you stay on that ventilator. Come on, there are people that could bless your life. People that could bless this ministry. Come on, people that are sitting around who could bless your business, bless your vision, but they're not right. And Jesus says, get them out of the room, because they're actually around because they're on a demonic assignment to watch you almost die. Some people around to give you just enough so you can almost live. Come on, they like DJ Khaled. They don't want to see you win. They stay around just to make sure you never talk again. Don't talk about that vision again. To make sure you never dream again. Jesus said, get them out. These people are getting paid for her to be like this. They were professional mourners. That's what they were. They were getting paid. You got people around you that are getting paid off of your tragedy. They get a kick out of you suffering. They love to hear that you aren't doing well. But Jesus is about to put them out of business. Come on, somebody ought to get excited. Jesus will put them out of business. Jesus put them out of business that day. They said, he said, your services are no longer needed. Get out. Some of y'all need to let some folk know your services are no longer needed. We don't need you to come around here no more.
Bye-bye. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Bye-bye. Amen.
The Father's heart is that he'll put people out that you won't put out. He'll do it. Oh, you keep on trying to have like this social worker mentality towards people. You cannot, you can't fix a devil.
Nope, you can't.
You cannot rehabilitate a person that has a bad heart towards you. So here's what Jesus did. He said, you won't do it, I'll come in the room and fix it. Come on, that's why some of those relationships don't work. That's why some of those business ventures don't work. Come on, that's why some of those mergers don't work. Because Jesus said, I got to put people out of the room that really don't want the best for you. Jesus changes the atmosphere. Come on, somebody ought to say, he'll change the atmosphere.
Change the atmosphere.
He made a declaration over this girl's life. He said, I'm speaking something different than these people around you have been speaking. And y'all can laugh all you want, but watch what happens at my word. At my word, it's going to change. The reason that you're alive today is because God the Father put some negative people out of your life. You're alive today because the Father wouldn't let them stick around. Because they were enjoying planning your funeral. This is a story about a girl, and I'm done, who got up. A girl that got up. This is the story about a daughter who got up. A daughter whose father would not let her die. Come on, somebody ought to get excited that you got a father that won't let you die. This girl got up from a place of death. Up from a place of no expectancy. Up from a place that is over. Up from a place where people have pronounced a thing over her life that she was too young for. She was only 12 years old. No, she got more. Look at somebody and say, I don't care how old you are today, you got more life in you. And there are daughters in here today who somebody told you your future is done. You had a child out of wedlock. You dropped out of school. You went through a horrible divorce. Somebody violated you. Somebody took away your joy. Somebody took away your self-esteem. Somebody took away your peace. They told you to stop dreaming, stop trying. But the Father sent me here today to tell you, girl, get up. Girl, get up. Girl, get up. Girl, get up. Come on, look at somebody and say, girl, get up. Girl, get up. Talitha Kumai. Damsel, arise. Come on, get up. of the Father that brought this daughter back to life. And I'm here today because of the faith of my father. To leave me in charge of his church when I didn't even believe I could do it myself. When I was told by so many people, no way you can do that. You're just a woman. You're a girl. Nobody's going to listen to you. You can't lead. You can't do it. And there were many times I wanted to die. I wanted to throw in the towel. But it took the faith of my father, my mother, to see their daughter alive today. That's my testimony. When I was almost dead, they said, daughter, get up. Daughter, get up. When the church had almost killed me, I still don't much like church people. Because religion had almost killed me. Sexism had almost killed me. But thank God my father and my mother put those voices out of the room, put them out of the house, and prophesied, daughter, you're going to live. So I thank you for being desperate enough to see your daughter get up. Thank you for taking me to Jesus, bringing Jesus to me, so that he can pronounce something different over my life, something different than what other people were speaking over me. Thank you for breathing life back into me when I was a teenage mother, when I was 18 years old with a child, and the funeral music was playing. But you never gave up on me. And now that son is at Stanford. Because you never gave up on me. The other one's at Hopkins, and the baby girl is doing big things, going to Israel. That wouldn't have happened if I had died back in that situation when the people around me wanted to see me die. So I say thank you. Thank you for taking me to Jesus when my marriage was falling apart. Thank you for speaking life into me and even into my husband. When this daughter got up, Jesus said, feed her. And the only way you're going to live after an attack on your life is that you eat. He told the father and the mother, you feed that girl. And I don't know who had been feeding her up to this point. This is why your covering is so important. You can't take it for granted who covers you and who feeds you. When people feed you good, you have got to honor that. When people feed you well, you have got to make sure you are a daughter that celebrates and honors the person that brought you back to life. I don't think it was a coincidence that Jesus instructed her parents to take care of what she ate. They were officials, and I'm sure they had people feeding their daughter, but I bet you it was somebody on their staff that was feeding her something that was going to kill her. Jesus says, you feed your daughter. And parents, we cannot leave it up to other people to do what we're supposed to do. We have a responsibility to make sure that they eat spiritually so that their inner man is strong, just like their outer man is. I say today the daughters are living because of the Father's heart for daughters. And we thank God that the daughters are going to live. Come on, somebody give God praise. The daughters are going to live.
Living, he loved me. Died.